Welcome to episode 4 of Stuff and Nonsense, a show that is full of stuff, and obviously it's in the title, so we've got to have some nonsense. I'm
There's a lot of
Joe.
nonsense.
Yeah,
You are
again,
Joe.
I am
You're
Joe,
Joe.
and I'm obviously not the one that's Northern Irish.
I'm Annella, the one that is. All right, Joe, so what kind of music are you listening to at the minute? What's on your playlist?
Surprise, surprise. Do you know what? I just can't. It's my go-to all the time still. But they dropped the album,
Really?
I think it was December. It's Haim again.
Haim.
Is it making you laugh again?
Oh my God.
Are you not listening to them yet, though? Come on. I think I'll stop saying
You
stuff.
always play them. You're always listening to them.
I can't help it. For 13 years, they've been in my head and I can't get them out.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure I get. We're all different. That's fine. All right.
Go on. What have you been listening to?
Oh, I go back and forth. I was just kind of getting my playlist ready for my idea radio show as well. So I was doing that. But when I want to kind of just hear some good lyrics and, when the stuff is just crap, I listen to Idols. Do you know Idols?
I've heard of them. Is it Pop Idols I was thinking of maybe?
No, they're kind of punky, but their lyrics are just so on the ball. They're just... Yeah. They're great, and they've got an album out called Ultra Mono, which is their latest album.
Oh.
And they've had singles Grounds and Mr. Motivator, two songs that I love off that album. They have a song called Kill Them With Kindness, and Ne Touche Pas Moi. So I think they're, I think you'd like them. Give them a shout. There's their lyrics, and they're great. They're a great live band as well to watch.
No, brilliant. Okay, well, look, if I listen to them, then you'll have to listen to Haim, and
that'll be a good deal.
Okay, I'll do that next time. So look, your band, they're punk, are they, or is that the genre?
I think they're called punk, post-punk, but yeah, they get a lot of, I would say, punky-ish. Punkish?
Punkish, I like that, yeah. But I asked you that because I wanted a segue. I couldn't find one, right?
It's not a bad segue.
Not bad. It's because it's our guest today. She's had a #1 album. She's an entrepreneur and an award-winning singing teacher, Carrie Griffiths.
Yes.
Can't wait to meet her. I think I need some vocal coaching without question. Already I've got a sore throat and I've only said one sentence, so I'm obviously doing something wrong.
Yeah, I think it's just an interesting subject as well, especially since we're all forced now onto Zoom. So I'm excited to see what Carrie what advice she can give us.
Yeah.
We certainly need it.
We need some advice. I'm not sure, maybe it just needs a bit more maybe than vocal coaching. And I'm not sure if she can help us with the other stuff that we need. But I'm looking forward to that bell ringing and we can let her in.
Look, there she is.
Hey, come on, let her in.
Welcome to our virtual home, Carrie Griffiths.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. So I know you, of course, from hanging about Camden bars way back when, skinhead bars, mod clubs, time of Brit Pop, all of that stuff. That was, God, I loved that time. It was great, exciting.
Yeah, it was a really great time. When I look back now, and I teach young kids not young kids, I teach young adults in South London and tell them all about, the time Britpop was coming about before it was called Britpop.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden we saw ourselves in these magazines and like we were the cool kids and like, oh, are we? We were just literally just going to clubs listening to the music we liked. So yeah.
Oh, I love those times. It's fascinating as well because everything was sort of booming and you would go out to the pubs and you'd see all these musicians that you were watching on Top of the Pops, Oasis, menswear.
Pulp, Blur,
it was pretty. Yep.
Brilliant. I mean, did you grow up around there then? Is that where you got your kind of influences from then, all the Britpop era?
Well, I grew up in Fulham and my dad used to take me out like every weekend. We'd go out and obviously I lived near King's Road and he was really into subcultures and stuff. So walking up King's Road, I'd see all the punks there, some of them I think we're both friends with. and I'd see all these punks and I just thought they looked amazing. And I always loved the bright colours and everything. I mean, now I literally just wear black and leopard print or some kind of animal print. But I just thought they looked amazing. The girls always looked fantastic. You know, the boys looked really cool. And I grew up around that. But then my mum wouldn't really let me listen to punk at home at all. But by the time I got to 16, you know, then by that time there was Nirvana, and I was already into Guns N' Roses and, like, you know, the kind of soft rock. I guess you would have called it metal back then, but now you'd call it kind of rock, wouldn't you? And I was always into that side of music. And then I became friends with a girl at college who was really into ska, into two-tone and stuff. And so we got chatting, and I didn't really know that there was a movement behind it. I just knew that I'd always liked that music. Yeah. And so she went to the Laurel Tree where Blow Up first started. She went there, and she was like, "You've got to come to Blow Up, you'll love it." And I went, and it was when it was just a tiny little club upstairs, a little pub in Camden. That's where we met, I think. And it was just amazing. And there was all the music that we liked. It was 60s funk, R&B, Brit Pop upstairs. Well, it kind of spread. It spread eventually. Took over the whole thing. But yeah, funk, R&B, Brit Pop, bit of rock and roll in there. And then I met the skinheads and the mods, and went kind of down that route. But I was always still a bit of a punk, really.
And you still are?
I still are, yeah. I still are. I still am. I still am. I still are. I are.
It's funny how that sticks with you, and I think that's kind of nice about those subcultures back then, because I grew up listening to Northern Soul and mod music and punk as well. My brother and sister were punk, so I was exposed to that. Love all that stuff still today.
Yeah,
we're just talking about
really
it, actually.
leave, does it? It's like once it's there, it's in you.
Yeah. So I was just wanting to go back. You became a mother. You were talking there earlier. You became a mother early on in your career. How was that, juggling that and trying to get into the music business?
Oh goodness, that was hard work. I had planned to become a mother kind of later in my life. I was married at the time, and, you know, we were going to go around the world, travel around the world doing our work. I was a croupier at the time, and we planned to have kids in about 5 years. But, you know, we were young and in love, and things happened. And so I found myself pregnant, and we decided to keep the baby. I'd already had an abortion, you know, before. It just wasn't the right time. So this time we said, right, okay, we've got to be responsible parents. And so we had the baby. And then my husband became abusive and didn't really want me to become a singer. And I decided when my daughter was about 6 months old that I would just become a singer, because I hated my job. I was like in a dead end town in the southeast of England, was bored, was very, very miserable and unhappy. And he wasn't supportive. So I ended up having to leave that marriage and left my home and stuff, came back to London. And building that career as a singer in those days, it was kind of a tale of two sides, you know. On the face of it, I got loads of gigs really, really quickly because I was just reliable. I could sing lots of different styles. I just wanted to get myself out there. Literally everyone I met, I told them I was a singer. You know, I could have been a singer since I was 8 for what they knew, because I just took the idea and ran with it.
Were you a natural singer, Carrie, or did you teach
yourself? Not really. I could hold a tune, you know, but I wasn't a good singer for a very long time. I took loads and loads of lessons, years and years of lessons. And studying, and took a degree eventually. But in those early days, the early 2000s, it was really a case of leaving my daughter with her grandparents to travel up and down the country. And I faced a lot of judgment, you know. A lot of people said I was selfish and I was a bad mother and I should be at home with my baby and blah, blah, blah. No one said any of that stuff when I was working nights as a croupier. Right. But when I started working nights as a singer, it was a whole different ball game.
Interesting.
Yeah. So it was hard in those days, and it was I probably beat myself up a lot as well for a long time. And then, you know, eventually you're like, this is what I've decided to do, so this is what I'm doing.
Yeah. Well, you must have been really sort of you've got to be a strong person to just come out of such an abusive relationship with a young child as well, and then trying to focus on what you really want to do in life. that's there's a lot of people that would not be able to do that. So that's pretty amazing, really, to be that's I'm still processing what that is, because you just like skipped through that in a minute, and that's such a huge thing in life to be able to do, because a lot of people I know still stay in abusive relationships because it makes their lives easier, because they haven't got the strength or the support. So did you have some support? You must have had that to be able to get out of that. Yeah,
I did. So my dad and my stepmom were very supportive, and they basically took Taya on as their own in those early days, and she pretty much lived with them while I was building myself up. And I was kind of homeless for about 10 years. I was staying at my mum's house, and then I would stay at my aunt's house, or I would get a place for like 6 or 7 months, and it was always transient. I didn't really have a place of my own for a long time, but it was because if I didn't sing, I was just miserable. I gave up for probably about 6 months, and in the end I was like, I've got to go back to it, because it's just the normal life just wasn't for me. Getting out on stage and just contributing to someone's wedding day, that's amazing. Being a part of someone's family's christening or their birthdays, and just making sure, that's what I used to do in the early days, and just giving people a good time, a good night out is I can't really think of anything better than that. All right, motherhood's pretty cool. But whatever way of making money, I've been so lucky to be able to do that, but I was lucky because I worked hard at it. So it was hard, and as I say, my dad and my stepmom were there. My mum did her best. There was issues there, and my sister was always very helpful as well. And I'm from a family who have always said, whatever you want to do, Carrie, you can go out and do. And so it wasn't that there was some judgment from certain family members, but on the whole, my family were not the ones saying that I should stay at home. They were the ones saying, no, go out and do it. And so I'm not sure I would have had the strength to continue for all of those years if my mum hadn't been saying go out and do it, and if my uncles, my uncles and my cousins would come to my gigs, and two men and a dog, and then my mum.
That's so nice to have that support. Does your daughter does she follow in your footsteps? Is she singing? How old is she now?
She's 20 now.
Wow.
Yeah. She's the same age as the century, so she's easy to remember. Whatever the year is, she's going to be 21. She'll be 21 in October. Well, she's very musical. She started playing piano when she was young.
Is she into the same kind of music as you, or is it a clash?
Yeah,
there?
kind of. She when she was about 2, I caught her singing along with Red Hot Chili Pepper songs, like word for word. And she's really into like indie rock, and she likes a bit of punk. So when I think she was probably about 2.5, and she knew all the words to Jilted John. Can't think where she got that from. Singing Jilted John at nursery, like, no, don't sing the end bit.
I think there's an album like Punk Lullabies for kids out there as well. Yeah.
Oh, if it's not, Carrie, you've got to go for that one.
Maybe I should record it. Yeah. So a musical version of punk songs.
Yes.
But look, so obviously you got into music. Who gave you your big break, really?
That's an interesting one. So my best friend was working as a youth worker, and she got this job down in Harlow at the Square. Like, the Square was a legendary venue in Harlow, and a lot of big bands cut their teeth there or play their first early UK gigs there. And so she was running this kind of youth community centre there, or helping to run it. And they used to run something called Rock School. And in the school holidays, they'd get all the local kids to come in, and they teach them to sing, play guitar, play bass, and they needed a singing teacher. Now, I lived in Ealing, so the other end of London. And the line was that they couldn't pay me. So I was there as a volunteer. So I used to travel from Ealing out to Harlow in Essex. It'd take me like up to 2 hours a time.
Oh my God.
For free. I think they paid my travel at first, and I think they paid for a couple of lunches. And so I got to know all of the musicians around there, and lots of the people who were helping to teach the kids, they were all in bands. And because the kind of music I was into, anytime someone needed a singer, oh, Carrie will do it. So whether it was soul, rock, R&B, punk, hip hop, my name came up, and I was reliable, and I just wanted to sing all the time. So I would travel out to Essex and do all of these gigs, and that's how my big break came. But when I joined Buster Shuffle, I was in a band there with two of Mickey Gallagher's sons, who Mickey Gallagher's from what is he?
Andrew and the Blockheads.
Yeah.
He did something with the Clash as well, didn't he?
Yeah, he wrote a lot of Sandinista with the Clash.
Wow.
Yeah. So I was in a band with his two sons, and we did a gig supporting Buster Shuffle, and Buster Shuffle basically stole me.
Headhunted.
Yeah.
That's good. I was going to ask you about Buster Shuffle and how you get into them. But
that's how that happened. But my first breaks, they really came from hanging around in Essex, just helping bands out when they needed a singer, really.
Yeah. I'm all for the Essex, as you know. So, yeah.
So you probably grew up listening to bands like Madness, and I heard you mention on an interview somewhere Lee Scratch Perry. So you grew up listening to these bands, and then you're working with them, supporting them, being on tour with Buster Shuffle.
Yeah, I mean, it was crazy, from all of a sudden I was always like up and down the country, and I'd gigged in a few different countries, and then when I got with Buster Shuffle, we were like held up as the punk ska band. I mean, it was never supposed to be a ska band. Jeffro's into rock and roll, he was writing rock and roll music, but I guess with the offbeat, it kind of sounds a bit like skanking, and so we were taken under that wing, and we got to play with lots and lots of Lee Scratch Perry. I'll tell you a funny story, actually. We had we'd been traveling across, it was like late summer, we'd been traveling across Germany. It was boiling hot. The boys all had their tops off. I was down to a vest in this van, like sweltering heat. And we got to somewhere towards the east of Germany where we were playing this big reggae festival. I can't remember the name of it. I can't remember the name of it. But anyway, at that point, we were covering Dawn Penn's song, No, No, No. So as we pulled up, I could hear, and I was like, oh God, someone else said, we can't play that song, boys. We can't play that song today. And then I hear, no, no, no. Oh, like, oh no.
Carry on, Carrie. Sorry, carry on. That was a beautiful. Stop singing.
I was usually the only woman on the whole of the gig. Even at festivals, I'd be the only woman there. So I'm thinking, who is singing this song? There are no women on the lineup. No women. Who is singing this song? I was like, no, it's got to be a record. You don't love me, yes, I know now. And then I didn't hear Tell the People, so I was like, no, it's definitely live. Anyway, we get to the gig. I'm fuming now. I'm like, who is singing my song? This is my song. Who is singing my song? Went to the loo first, Portaloo, glamorous.
Oh, yeah.
Grabbed a beer, get up to the stage. Oh, it's only Dawn Penn. Singing the song.
How cool. Did she hear your version?
No. We didn't do that day. Definitely not. Literally, no. So yeah, that was funny. And that was actually the same festival where I think, I don't know if it was the year before or the year after, we did a joint headliner with Lee Scratch Perry. So that was when we had made #1 that day or something, or that week. I don't know.
Was this more of a European tour, or was it?
This was in Germany, yes. It was a European tour, yeah.
Did you do a world tour with them? Did you get around the world?
No. I mean, just before we were due to go out to America, and things were happening, and I wasn't really happy in the band anymore, and I really didn't want to go to America. I've just got no. I just don't really. It's not my thing. Anyway, then there was some politics happening, and it just came to the end, and I didn't get to do that. But toured lots and lots of places, over 30 countries, with Buster Shuffle and other bands as well.
Because you got a #1 album as well. Was that in Germany though? Was it? Or?
That was in Germany, yeah. With the second album, Do Nothing. There wasn't a ceremony. Wasn't Top of the Pops.
Was there no champagne or?
Well,
shaking up.
there might have been some like German beer as champagne shaken about, shaken about in a back room somewhere.
Isn't German beer champagne and equivalent?
Actually, that was a nice segue when you mentioned teaching earlier. I mean, it's just like, because it's what, for over 15 years now you've been doing that. I mean, how did that transpire? You've been doing it while you was gigging as well, or?
So when I wasn't on tour, I would be teaching.
Oh, you were.
Yeah. So they went kind of hand in hand. So 17 years now, 17 years to the month.
Wow. That is a long time. I have a question. When you're teaching singing, did you have to learn the anatomy of the throat or the vocal cords to help you understand how it all works?
My first singing teacher, Debbie, she would explain why she was teaching me certain things as we went along. And from what I have experienced, not all singing teachers do that. And so I had this really strong understanding of how the body works, because obviously the whole body is the instrument. It's not just this part here. So I had a real strong understanding of the whole instrument, and I've always been quite a studious person anyway. And so when I went in as a singer, I was like, I'm not just a singer, I'm a singer. I wanted to know everything about it, and I studied loads, and I worked with lots of different singing teachers, and eventually I did my degree as well, and got to work with some amazing singers and amazing teachers, and I always keep it up. I still have lessons now every now and again with an amazing guy called Greg Enrique, who has worked with some amazing, like, world-class, he's worked with big names. I don't know if I'm allowed to say, but if you go to his site, you'll see. Right. So I have some lessons with him every now and again, just to keep my hand in. I'm always studying. So it's all about the entire instrument, the whole of the vocal tract, the folds, the muscles, the resonators, the everything.
Yeah, I used to work for this company that did digital anatomy. So we used to sell our product to drama schools and people that taught that system. Yeah. So do you hydrate? Is that any hydration tips? Is it hot water, cold water, hot drinks, cold drinks?
Room temperature? Room temperature. Yeah. Oh. So if you're ever drinking cold water, you should hold it in your mouth for a few seconds to warm it up before you swallow it. Yeah. You shouldn't really drink water with ice.
I'm quite nasally, especially when I'm wearing headphones. I hear myself. It's horrible. Any tips that you'd recommend apart from losing weight and doing a bit more exercise? Is there anything I could do to get rid of this nasally stuff?
Doesn't sound that nasally to me, but actually, that is a technique. Using the nasal resonator is a technique for projection. So,
is it?
But if you want to make it more rounded, then it's quite advanced. But it would be about connecting with the lower part of your body and the lower register. So you could use I'm going to give you a really advanced tip here, but you could use a sound like more, and kind of cry it down, more, and then as you practice it, it will become more rounded and it will become less nasally. Yeah.
But that is quite funny, Carrie, because I normally say to Annella, less.
Less.
More,
definitely more.
I like it more, and it sounds so more.
It feels empowering as well, to be fair, doesn't it? If you do something like that,
you can feel it vibrating here, and that's what you're aiming for. Yeah,
right. And when you talk about the lower register, is that your lower chest area? Yeah. All right. So before performances, do you get nervous? Is there is there any exercises that you do to?
Oh yeah, always warm up. Always warm up. You've got to warm up. So
the whole body, or just your?
Yeah, you should warm up the whole body, the whole thing, because any tension that there is anywhere is going to show up in your voice. What did you used to do when you used to call in sick to work? It all comes through the voice, isn't it? Everything does.
I hung up outside off a bed with my head on the floor.
Yeah, it all comes through there. So it's all everything is connected. Yeah,
right. Yeah. So there's nothing
warm up the body as well, warm up the face. I do loads of silly faces, lip bubbles. I don't know if I can do it now. I've got lipstick on, but
I did a drama course one time and they had me do like Gaya, laya, daya, da 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 da, ya ya ya, gaya,
Yeah.
So you're using your tongue on each part of your mouth.
Yeah, exactly. They're in different places. Gurning's good.
Come on, Joe, do one.
I'm a little scared. Yeah,
Leave us.
I'm actually a singer, Carrie, as well. I'm not like I don't really do many covers, just like old school singer-songwriter stuff as well. So my warm-up was terrible. It used to be like a pint and a bar of chocolate, you know. So I know, Carrie, I'm sorry, but yeah,
Carrie is going to frown on that.
Yeah. So but it's only really the past few years that I know like breathing's like a really major factor of that. So, and I know kind of you do speaking voices as well as singing. So is there much difference between the exercises on those?
Not really, no. I mean, singing's just an extended form of speaking, so not really. I mean, the main warm-ups that I do with speakers, I do those warm-ups with singers as well. For speaking, I work with public speakers and coaches. So, you know, coaches who are talking to people a lot all day, and maybe making videos. It's, you know, for social media stuff, or making videos for YouTube, or going live on Facebook. Are we allowed to mention that? Social media.
Yeah.
And yeah, people who are working a lot with clients. So a lot of face-to-face stuff. Those are my niches. I mean, I can work with everyone, but that's I get better results with those people because it's an immediate fix that they need, really. And mostly they don't come to me until they've got a big problem.
Yeah.
But
that's always the way people go. They have a problem. Sorry, Joe.
Yeah, no, you're right. No, she does this all the time, Carrie. Don't worry about it. So I just pick my moments when I can jump in at times. Annella doesn't care. Full steam ahead. Yeah. But no, seriously though, you must get a really great sense of achievement, you know, just seeing someone grow that's at the beginning of a course to the end of the course. It must be to take that away from you, knowing that you can literally change people's lives like that, can't you?
Well, that's exactly it. You know, for a long time I was like, oh God, I'm just a voice coach. I'm just a singer. What am I doing? There are so many people doing amazing things all around the world. People running food banks and, you know, creating vaccinations and, you know, going out and saving people's lives in the middle of the sea. And I'm just here like teaching people how to sing. But, but, you know, at the end of the day, I am helping to change people's lives. And, to, you know, the main thing for me is that at the end of every lesson, there's a smile. And there's always a laugh, especially making these silly noises and silly faces all day long. You know, there's always a laugh and always a smile. And that's what, you know, when I go to bed at night, that's what I think about.
Wow.
Well, yeah, we recently interviewed Sarah Fisher, who's a keyboardist and singer with Hazel O'Connor. I don't know whether you know of her.
Oh, wow, yeah.
But she was telling us that how she works with people to help them with their mental health. So she has put a choir together, and you know, the power of singing. So she's doing this online now with Zoom, and it just I know that you've worked with young offenders in the past, teaching them, and that must have been a valuable and, you know, fun skill for them to have. You know, I can imagine it was great fun for them to, you know, start singing.
So we did a lot of songwriting and lyric writing there, you know, and a lot of them wanted to be rappers, and so I'd help them with their diction and their breath control and their performance skills, and some of them wanted to be singers as well. So, you know, and it was a way of them turning something bad into something a lot more positive.
Only recently, I think it was around December, you co-founded the Queens in Business Club, and that helps like female and non-binary entrepreneurs, right, to get their power of their voice. Yeah,
I can't believe that you guys know that. My social media must be on fire.
Your social media is on fire, Carrie. It is. You have
the thing. Yeah. Queens of Business. So Queens of Business is for female entrepreneurs. The non-binary stuff is more what I do. I'm really big on creating a space for non-binary individuals. Just Queens of Business is for female entrepreneurs who want to either start or build their own businesses. And so there are 6 of us who have different expertise, and mine is, of course, speaking in the voice. So yeah, I help women with either working on their tone of voice or the confidence to even speak, you know, the confidence to get on a stage or to get on a camera. It's, you know, having a conversation is one thing, but you guys know yourself, as soon as you press record, it's all gone. Everything's out the window. You get choked up, you forget what you're going to say. So we're just helping a lot of people to really find a space and build, become reach their potential and become what they know they can.
And providing that safe space essentially as well, and being so inclusive like that, it's really important, I think, especially now, and obviously with everything that's going on with COVID as well, being able to actually speak to people through Zoom like this, I think, you know, it is really vital, really vital.
Of people who came to me right early on and said, you know, that transition from being face to face to going to Zoom was really difficult for lots and lots of people, even professional public speakers who've been doing it for years. They've found some real big barriers there. So that was really, it was really great to be able to help so many people through that.
Yeah. Thank you, Carrie. That's brought us to the quick fire section of our episode here. This is going to tell us, I think, a little more about the real Carrie Griffiths. Nice, easy one to start with.
Okay.
Cider or beer?
Oh, cider.
You'd say that.
Easy.
Yeah.
Sorbet or ice cream?
Ooh. I'm going to have to say ice cream just because I eat it more.
Yeah. Yes. Scone or scone?
Oh, scone.
Yeah.
Blow up or night train?
You are naughty. Well, everything started with blow up, so blow up.
Yeah. And for those that are listening or watching, Blow Up and Night Train were two clubs in Camden in the early 90s, which were fantastic, and it's where everybody. Yeah. Yeah. Singing or dancing?
Singing. Oh God.
I know
when I was a kid, but
yeah, I know you danced a lot.
Yeah, singing.
Singing.
Okay. Dogs or cats?
I'm allergic to both, but dogs don't make me nearly as ill as cats do, so I'll have to say dogs.
Well done.
Sorry, cat people.
Also got a little exercise there as well with the lips thing. I saw that.
Yes.
You've been practicing on that one as well. Yeah.
Lip share.
There you go.
Ska or punk?
Punk.
And if you had a choice, what country would you tour in if you were doing that again?
Obviously not America.
That's a really good question. No. No. I mean, maybe, no, I don't think so. That's a good, I've never been to Ireland. So
What?
Yeah. I know. It's only over there.
Yeah. Oh,
yeah,
it's beautiful here.
I'd love to tour Ireland. I'd love to do a punk tour of Ireland. I'd love that.
Well, the punk scene in Northern Ireland was amazing in the 80s.
Yeah.
Absolutely amazing. Still is, actually. It still has all through these decades. It's been.
It still is, yeah. There was some really good, I really like Takers and Users. And, yeah, United Bottles.
And Collins Band, Running Riot.
Running Riot, of course. Yeah.
Back then. And even, I mean, I think Colin did a lot. Colin, who was the lead singer of Running Riot, he put on a lot of events and did a lot of punk gigs. But Northern Ireland's very sort of well known for its punk scene.
Yeah.
Anyway, this is supposed to be a quick fire round, and Joan tells me off for getting sidetracked all the time.
So childhood hero, Carrie.
Michael Jackson.
Oh, smell. Yeah. Love him.
I know. Sorry, everyone, but it was.
Controversial.
Pineapple on a pizza, yes or no?
Oh, God, no.
Oh. Most important question, I believe, in the whole of this: red or brown sauce?
Oh my God! This is supposed to be quick fire. Oh my God!
Put you on the spot.
Brown.
I can't believe it's taken you that long to answer that question.
Well, I don't really use both. I'm a mustard girl.
Yeah. Or Brunson pickle.
Yeah.
So what's the last thing you watched on TV?
Oh, downstairs. My landlady had This Morning on, so it was this morning. Yeah.
Sorry, last exciting thing.
I watched Dr. Foster. That was really good.
Okay.
And records or MP3s?
Records.
Yeah, had to be. Yeah. I should have said vinyl. I feel really.
Vinyl, yeah.
Yeah.
Last but not least, what are you listening to now on your iPad, iPod, music device? What's your?
Well, it doesn't really stray that far from Stevie Wonder at the moment. There's always some punk on in the background. There's always a bit of Angry Agenda. There's always, there's always some Cock Sparrow. You know, there's always Blondie, but you know, late at night when there's no one else around, it goes back to Stevie Wonder.
Oh. Well, listen, cheers, Carrie. You know what? I mean, I know Annella knows, but it's been really nice for me to get to know you. It really has. And I'd love to buy you a pint sometimes, and maybe you can show me more what to do with my throat a little bit more, rather than
no
just
more beer and chocolate. My
no,
goodness.
sorry, can't
Yeah,
be. I'm
it's been
so
really,
embarrassed.
really nice to meet you. Thank you so much for having me on.
Oh, that's been a pleasure.
Can you throw us where we can find you online and stuff like that?
Yeah, so my website is Secret Vocal Academy. You can always find me on Facebook, but right now, well, actually next Monday, so the 12th of April, I'm starting a free 5-day course on Facebook, so you can find me there. That's called Jumpstart Your Singing, and that's going to be an ongoing thing, so you can join and restart as many times as you like. That's completely free. And you can follow me on Facebook, Carrie Griffiths. Everywhere is my name, so Instagram, Pinterest, everywhere. Carrie Griffiths Voice Training.
All right, well, Carrie, thanks, and thank you for listening to Stuff and Nonsense. Our guest again today was Carrie Griffiths. It'd be great if you could show us some love by leaving us a review, like, subscribe, retweet, and all of that other nonsense, and then you won't miss any of our Stuff and Nonsenses. Find us on the Stuff and Nonsense Show on Facebook, which is facebook.com/the Stuff and Nonsense Show.
She does ever so well with that, doesn't she? So it's goodbye from Annella.
Goodbye from Joe. Goodbye, Carrie.
Bye, Carrie.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.